Are hair systems for men like makeup is for women? Are we being unfairly judged because we're men? Are we literally just trying to do exactly the same as women are trying to do when they wear makeup, which is improve their appearance, improve their self-confidence, improve their self-esteem? I'm going to be brutally honest, guys. I think it is. And I think a lot of guys within this community think exactly the same. I think there's a very unfair stigma around men that you should just deal with what you're given, or deal with what's taken away from you. In this context, your hair. Now, if a woman loses her hair to alopecia, or if a woman loses her hair to chemotherapy, do people criticise her for getting a wig? No. And this is where the hypocrisy comes in, where men get a hard time for getting a hair transplant or for getting a hair system or for getting SMP, when effectively all they're doing is exactly the same as what a woman would do in that situation, but the difference is that they're a man. Now, this video isn't to hate on women, because that's not the idea or the intention of this video at all. It's looking more deeply at culture, really, and culture around men. I mean, I'll be honest with you, when I did a video about 4 months ago where I talked about this TikTok video that I'd done, it had blown up, it had gone seriously viral, got like 500,000 views, and the massive majority of derogatory messages that I got and comments were from men. So this just shows this isn't a female problem judging men, this is a man problem judging other men. And this is the core issue here. It's cultural. It's cultural. We've got it in the UK. I've seen it in the US as well. This sort of cultural belief that, you're not a man if you don't have, hairs on your chest. You're not a man if, you don't shave your head when you start going bald, stuff like that. You're not a man if if you feel your feelings or if you express your feelings, and all of this nonsensical, outdated waffle, shall we say. Which isn't helpful. It's not helpful. And that is why I see literally hair systems as being exactly the same as makeup for women. I wouldn't quite actually say makeup. If it was up to me, I'd probably say Botox, because with hair systems, it just makes you look so much younger. Women get Botox to look younger. It takes all the wrinkles off of their scalp and sort of around the eyes and stuff like that. And quite often when women get Botox, it's just yeah, good for you, man. I know people who have got, but I know women who have got Botox. There's a florist in town who has Botox, and I think it looks great. There's people my age, 34, 35, who have Botox. Females I know who have Botox, and they, it enhances their appearance, much like a hair system enhances our appearance. And you can see they're so much more confident, and they get praised for doing it as well. So why shouldn't we? Look, I'm not one to stand on a soapbox in the middle of town and literally yell about this stuff, but what I will say is this is my opinion, and I think this opinion is the right opinion for 2023. We're not living in the 1970s or the 1980s anymore. Funnily enough, I was watching this YouTube video from 1974, I think it was. And because I quite like my rugby, so for my US friends, rugby is sort of similar to American football, but minus the helmets and the shoulder pads. And it's not in quarters, it's in two halves. Very physical game. I used to play it as a youngster. Very physical. So many of them, number one, they looked way older. They looked way older than they actually were. A lot of these guys were in their late 20s and they looked in their 40s. And a lot of them were just completely bald. And I was like, you know what? If that was me, I'd be wearing a hair system. Or at least just shave it, whatever. But yeah, it just shows how times have changed. It wouldn't be accepted to have a hair system back then. It wouldn't be accepted to have a hair transplant back then, even though the technology for hair transplants was pretty bad back in those days. But still, talking of which, actually, I know someone, our old plumber back in the day, he got a hair transplant early 90s and it failed miserably. It's come a long way in the last 25, 30 years. But look, in my opinion, the judgments need to stop, because we're in an age now whereby bullying shouldn't really be accepted. People should be able to do what they want. We're still ongoing Pride Month in the UK, the month of June, whereby people are, expressing themselves. And I'm all for it. Like, at the end of the day, it's 2023, and people should be able to do what they want, and they should be able to do whatever makes them happy. They should be able to do whatever makes them feel good about themselves. We're not living, in the 1970s anymore, or the 60s or the 50s. We're not. We've been liberated from that era. The expectations back then are totally different to what they are now in terms of, quality of life, happiness in yourself. So I kind of feel that with the whole hair system stuff, in a way, like, some attitudes are just stuck back in like the 1970s, 1960s, and they really need to evolve. What does make me laugh though is when I got those comments on that TikTok video, these people, I was reading the comments and I was like, you guys sound really outdated, You guys, I wouldn't want to hang out with you guys in a pub. You guys would bore me to death. They're the kind of people that are pretty much stuck on autopilot their whole lives. They don't have any ability at all to be open-minded or modern. They're basically looking back to a past time. So I'm going to end this video on a positive note, okay? Hair systems are fine. If women can wear makeup, if women can wear Botox, can have Botox, hair systems for men are absolutely fine. Remind yourself, guys, it's 2023 and you have every right to do whatever makes you happy. This video is brought to you by Levivid. The system that I'm wearing is sent to me by Levivid. 15% off in the discount code. What? In the description box below. 15% off. Levivid stock systems. So if you want one of those, do check that out. If you'd like to support my content, please do hit that thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Speak to you soon, guys. Bye for now.